Good morning, YouTubers. I'm just listening to the ride-hailing program thing on talk radio. How they want to, cities are going to start taxing their way through ride-hailing and dropping during certain hours of peak hours to charge an extra $1 to the fare that goes to the federal government during peak hours and blah blah blah. And they're just trying to get money. It's all it is. This ride-hailing thing might be, a win in disguise for the government. They could find ways to tax the crap out of everything possible. Anyways, guys, welcome to Morning Coffee with Mike. I want to thank my Patreon supporters for supporting me. I lost one supporter, but I gained one back, and thank you very much for that, guys. I want to talk about housing versus the markets and the repo markets. Okay, now let me explain to you. Let me give you like a metaphoric way to think about this. It's kind of a good way to think about this. You know how in the housing market, we know that it's a Ponzi scheme. We all know that it's, now the governments are giving away free money, first-time buyer loans for people that can't afford to get in the market already, right? Now, hear me out here. Just hear me out. You got the interest-only mortgages. You got first-time buyer loans. You got all kinds of stuff that the banks are kind of fizzling around with. Banks are working on getting things to keep stimulating this housing market. We know this, right? You've been following my channel. This is no surprise. We've been talking about this for many years. Not weeks, not months, not a year, not 2 years. We've been talking about this for 8-9 years now on this channel. And what the whole, how they're stimulating this housing market to try and get first-time home buyers in. Without the first-time home buyers and the fresh blood, it's over. It's done, right? So they need the fresh blood in the ring to keep this housing going. But without first-time home buyers, it just won't fly. Now, let me get to my point now. The whole repo market is another branch of quantitative easing to bail out the failing businesses. Instead of letting the businesses fail, which they should be, instead of letting the only the strong will survive and every man for himself, this is keeping the business, retail / corporate / banking / all those sectors keep going, even though they should be failing. Instead of using our tax money in and out, it's like robbing Peter to pay back Peter, and then now propping up the American dollar, right? And gold's bounced back since then, and they're like, you know what? It's only so long before you could manipulate these markets and spoof these markets before you start seeing this effect where it works for a while, and then it's like when someone's on almost about to pass away, and the doctors do a few things, they get better for a while, and they go back down. Then they get better, but they never get as better as they were before. Or they never reach that peak that they were before, but they come back down. And then they try to get a little bit, but then they go up this much instead of that much. Then they go this much and this much until eventually they pass away, right? And I want you guys to understand that. The repo markets now in the I guess, repo buyback markets, the way it's set up, it's almost like they're they're robbing themselves to pay themselves back, is what it is. So I want you guys to understand how that works. So see how the housing market, we're doing all this Mickey Mousing, and we've been talking about this on the channel. We had a great trends in the housing market last night. Thank you everybody for joining us. But back to what I'm saying, back to square one. The markets are doing the same thing, right? For those that are just following housing for me, I want to explain this. They've been doing everything they can to keep these markets going, and what's most importantly, keeping corporations, specific corporations that don't even pay tax in the first place, because they find loopholes not to pay tax, and they use our money to bail them out. Yeah. Don't you forget that, guys. Oh, yeah. All right. All right, let's get some coffee, guys. I need some coffee. It's almost 11 o'clock. I was talking to my man Owen this morning. Hey, can I get an extra large dark roast with 1 cream?
Sure. Anything else?
Oh my God. I'm looking at that. Oh, I can't take it. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry. I'll just
Okay.
I'll just take the coffee.
Sure. 240, please. Thank
Yeah,
you.
they got a caramel filled donut with Kit Kat flavor. Anyway, so I'm just gonna. Hey, how are you? I was looking at that Kit Kat. Oh, I can't handle it, buddy. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, yeah.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Oh God! All right, so I'm off to take care of some business up the hill here, and got to meet up with my lawyer too. Oh man, guys, I don't know, man. Like they're really. So they're doing anything possible to keep it going. You know what they're trying to do, right? Is they're trying to see if China could fall before them. That's what America's trying to do. They're trying their best to see if China's house of cards could fall before anyone else, and then America could kind of, I don't know, man. I know for the Cold War, it was a spending war, right? America kept spending on their military, and Russia had to keep up with a weak infrastructure and a weak. Russia had to keep up with American spending, and then basically that's what ended the Cold War and the collapse of the Soviet Union. There's more reasons, obviously a lot more involved, but that's one of the main reasons, right? And it's basically a race to the bottom. It's a race to who could devalue their currency the fastest. But America doing this is just strengthening their dollar, and that's why I had Andrew Baker on the show the other day, and he's telling me, you know what, Mike? It's almost like American money, gold and silver are the ways to hedge right now against this up and coming these upheavals that we're going to be seeing in the next couple of quarters. But you know what, guys? It's not going to be like a boom and a bang. It's going to be nice and slow. It's going to happen as it goes, and then we're going to see one thing fall off, then another. It's going to kind of be like the sinking of the Titanic, right? We're going to see it kind of dilapidate its way down and kind of if that makes sense to you guys, like kind of make its way out and fizzle out, and one thing then another thing. Could we handle it? Well, I don't think your jobs could. I don't think your jobs could handle it. That's one thing I don't think. But we as humans will survive. We've been through worse as human beings. But I think what's going on now, I mean, there's so much spoofing. It's like keeping the banks and these corporate entities and private lenders open and keeping them funded. It's very scary. It's scary, Terry, is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. I got an email from Crazy Tracy from Los Angeles. She's been living there since 1990s. And she's got an email I want to read to you guys from Crazy Tracy. And she discusses how basically things have changed so much in Los Angeles in the last, she says, not in the last 5, but in the last 4 years, 3 years. It's been such a change that it's almost become a different country alone. Like, it's a completely different country. Like, it's gotten to a point where if she visits like another state, she feels like she left a country, because that's how much changed California has become. So when she goes to Arizona or if she goes to Texas, it's like a completely different country. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think below about this stock, the repos and the repo buybacks and garbage that's happening. So here, let's steal $100,000 and pay ourselves back the $100,000. It's like, what? And that's why we're having these inverted yield curves. We're going to have a 2-month bond or a 3-month bond. It's going to look better than a 10-year. Give it some time. You'll see. Comment below. Let me know.